Hey everyone, guess what? It's already time for Black Friday coverage because VGP has fully launched their Black Friday sale. And you know what? There are over 300 Switch games currently on sale, and we'll actually be browsing through all of them in today's video, because we'll be doing this in a slightly different format than usual. I'll basically be going through all the sales that are currently on the website, highlighting those that I really think are good pickups. When I decide to highlight a game, I'll splash a little bit of gameplay on screen so you know what to expect as I describe why I think it's a really good deal. I think that this will really be the best way to quickly go through all the games, making sure to not miss out on any of the great deals that are currently up there. By the way, if you've never heard of VGP before, they are now my go-to source for physical games in North America. Not only that, but they're specialists in indie physical games. So if you're an indie fan and you want to pick up your physicals, check out VGP. And the great thing as well is I have an affiliate code for the site. So if you want to help out the channel a little bit at the same time, it doesn't cost you anything extra. Just use that affiliate link down below in the description of the video. Also, since we'll be looking at over 300 games, and I'm going to try to keep it fast-paced and flowing, I might miss out every now and then on a really good game, or maybe it's just a game that I haven't played so I didn't know it was a really good pickup. So make sure to leave those in the comments down below so we can all share the great gaming deals. And by the way, if you're liking this content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't already. Now, let's jump in and take a look at these deals. Now, to start out today's video, we'll be only looking at in-stock games in the beginning because I want to make sure that these games are available for you at least when the video goes live. I've also set the prices in US dollars, and by the way, it's free shipping for everything over $75, which you'll see will be really easy to hit with the number of great games that are currently on sale. I decided to start quickly with the Nintendo Switch 2 games because honestly there are only 3 on sale for physical editions. I do however think that 2 of these are really good pickups. The first one being Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. Look, I think this is one of the best launch games for the Nintendo Switch 2. Not only that, but you get the full game on the cartridge, which is really great. It's not a game keycard or anything. The only thing I want to warn is that since VGP is sort of the first to launch their full Black Friday sales, there is a slight possibility that some other retailer could undercut this price. However, I do still think that this game is a really great pickup whenever you can grab it on sale in any form or format. The second game out of these 3 that I would say is Raidu Remastered, which honestly, yes, it's a game keycard, but it's still $35 for a really great Nintendo Switch 2 game. It's an Atlus game. Atlus makes great RPGs and great, basically, JRPGs to be more specific. This one is honestly a really great offshoot of the Tensei Megami series, which is going to be a great for fans of dark, really Japanese-influenced games. So I do think at $35, this is a great pickup on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. Now, as for NBA 2K26, if you can deal with the 30 FPS, pick it up, but I know a lot of people were disappointed with the port of this game because it really feels like a rush job that they were trying to push out on the Nintendo Switch 2, and given the new hardware, this game should be able to run at a 60 FPS, so it is what it is. Now, before we move on to the rest of our 300 plus Switch deals, let's hear a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, AliExpress and the Miyoo Mini Plus. Now, the Miyoo Mini Plus is an extremely portable emulation device, and when I took this thing out of the packaging, I was actually really surprised by how small it actually was. I mean, here it is next to my Pixel 8a, which is a pretty small smartphone, and it's almost half the size. A lot of consoles like to say that they're pocket sized, but this one definitely is. But that's not all. Diving into the packaging, I was actually surprised by how much actually comes with the console. Number one, they give you a USB-C charging cable because yes, this thing charges with USB-C. They even give you a micro SD to USB adapter to be able to load your ROMs onto the console. But what surprised me most is they even give you a screen protector, because I've got to say this thing has a beautiful screen on it, and if you are going to be putting it in your pocket, you're definitely going to want to install this screen protector to make sure to not get any scratches on it. Now, doing a quick tour of the console, it has a very comfortable D-pad, 4 clicky face buttons, and even 4 buttons at the back, meaning that this is going to be compatible pretty much with everything from your classic game systems all the way up to probably the PS1 and even arcade games. As I mentioned earlier, you have a USB-C charging port at the bottom of the console, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. That being said, even though this thing is incredibly small, it's actually pretty comfortable to play, all the way from your classic games on the NES like Mega Man, through your Super Nintendo arcade games and even Mega Drive games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But even surprising to me, so far it's handled some of the best PS1 games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and even 3D games like Tekken 2. I mean, being able to do all this at under a $50 price point is really amazing, and I think this is going to be a great little Christmas gift or even maybe a stocking stuffer for the holiday season. But furthermore, thanks to AliExpress, I also have some exclusive discount codes that can save you up to $69 on your purchases on AliExpress. All you need to do is use the codes that you see on the screen right now or in the description of the video down below. And the savings don't even stop there, where you can get up to 10% cash back by joining my team on AliExpress. Once you join the team, you can earn daily points by completing tasks, just like signing in, browsing, and of course, placing orders. And the higher the team points, the more cash back you get, so come on and check it out. And joining the team is once again as simple as clicking the link down below or scanning the QR code that you see on the screen right now. So make sure to join my team and let's save more money all together. And I'll have the link to the Miyoo Mini Plus as well down below in the description of the video. Now, thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and thank you to AliExpress for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so now we're going to get into the Nintendo Switch 1 games. And get ready, because like I said, there are over 300 games here. For the moment, I'm only looking at the in-stock games, and I've put them from cheapest to highest, so we'll sort of work through them, and honestly, there are great pickups at almost every price point, as low as $7. We'll go through them quickly, like I said. By the way, at the end, I will quickly look at the out-of-stock games, simply because this sale is going to be ongoing for 2 weeks. And last year, a lot of games came back in stock, like halfway through the sale. So if there's any out-of-stock games right now, keep checking in every few days. They might come back in stock. And it's really easy to make a cart, a $75 cart, and pick up some really great drops here. Now, that being said, in the $7 price point, I do think there are 3 games we should look at. By the way, Die After Sunset and New Super Lucky's Tales, it's not that they're bad games, it's that these are code in a box. I'm not going to really be suggesting any code in a box games. Basically, you're just better off downloading them digitally at this point. They get just as cheap as this pretty much on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Watch the regular videos. They'll generally be there if they're on sale. But Metaverse Keeper at $7.14 is a little action roguelite. Honestly, is it the best action roguelite? Definitely not, but for $7 for a physical copy, it's a fun game. It just got a really bad rap because it is the port of a mobile game, but it's still pretty fun, especially as an introduction to maybe a first roguelite. So if you have younger kids, you want a little stocking stuffer for $7, great pickup. Same thing for Button Up. This is a puzzle platformer. Once again, very much on the simpler side. $7, it can be a fun time if you want a game that you can probably knock out in 2 or 3 hours. But once again, it's a great game to introduce maybe a younger player to puzzle platformers. And ultimately, I would say it's a well-rounded game, although it's definitely not stellar. And at $7, you know, you can do way worse than this. Lastly, Kitaria Fables is also a action RPG. Once again, more on the simpler side. However, there is some fun to be had here for everyone. If you want, once again, a game that you can knock out quickly, have a fun over like just a weekend, Kitaria Fables can be a good one. And at $7, you really don't have to feel bad because this is a physical copy of the game. By the way, I won't say it over and over again, but obviously a lot of these games, if you buy them digitally, can be cheaper on the eShop. Like some of these games drop to almost $2 and you can pick them up for super cheap. The point here is to get a physical version of the game. That's why you might be prepared to pay a little bit extra. But definitely the stellar pickup at the $7 price point is Persona 5 Strikers. Look, it's Persona 5, however, done as an action game. And you know what? If you're a fan of the series, it's a really fun game to play through. And at $7, I mean, it's the absolute steal at this price point. I would say if you are a fan, or if you know a fan of Persona, you're looking once again for a little stocking stuffer, this one is a no questions asked, great little pickup here. After that, we're going to be going up to the $10 price point for 1072 Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. You know what? I had a ton of fun with this game. Is it the best Super Monkey Ball? No, but it was still a ton of fun. Was slightly disappointing performance in the side-by-side screen, but in solo player, this is definitely worth a pickup. $10. To me, this is a total no-brainer. Secondly, I would also say that Lego 2K Drive can be a fun time as well, but there is a lot of push here to some DLC and buying some additional content. I didn't like that about the game, but it is still a fun time for Lego 2K Drive. Another no-brainer deal, Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition for $14.29. That is an easy pickup. If you are a looter shooter fan, Borderlands 3, the Ultimate Edition, is going to be an easy suggestion on the Nintendo Switch. It's not the best version of the game, but it is a portable version of the game, and it runs well enough to have an amazing time on the console. And I think that pretty much wraps it up for page 1. Now, jumping back into our deals, we're at page 2. Right away, Super Alloy Ranger, $14.29. If you're an indie pixel art fan, if you like 2D action platformers with a Mega Man-like style, easy pickup, easy suggestion. $14.29 is once again a steal for an awesome little indie game. Secondly, Marble It Up Ultra. This is a momentum-based marble game where you're basically trying to get a marble through a course. I recently discovered this game. It is absolutely amazing fun, especially if you're a fan of the old school NES games that were like this. Now, at also $14.29, it seems to be a pretty popular price point here. We have Immortals Phoenix Rising. This game got a lot of shit online when it was originally released, feeling like a ripoff of Breath of the Wild. But trust me, if you play it, it is its own thing. And I was actually really disappointed that this game didn't take off, because it is one of the best original IPs that Ubisoft has actually come up with in the last few years. And I was really hoping that this game would take off and actually become a consecutive series, because although the game isn't perfect, it was an awesome starting point that they could have built off to make another great IP that really isn't just another Assassin's Creed game. Okay, now if we move on, this one is going to be a suggestion, Pocket Bravery at $14.29. Now this is a 1v1 fighter. It has online. It is a pixel art fighter as well, and I actually had a ton of fun with it. It maybe doesn't have the staying power of one of the mainline fighters like Street Fighter or anything like that, but especially for some couch co-op, for some friends that come over, you can get some really interesting characters. I love the art design here, and it was overall a pretty fun time. Now, next on this page, we also have Bubble Ghost Remake that is only $14.29. Now, this is a puzzle platformer where you have to guide a bubble through a maze-like level. And basically, it can be extremely stressful. I personally didn't resonate super hard with this game, but if you were a fan of the original, because this is a remake of an older game, this is a really true to the original remake, and it can be a ton of fun if you have the patience for this type of platforming, which is maybe not my thing. And last for this page, we have Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator. Look, this is a text-based game, but it is actually a really fun one. You play a Space Warlord, and you have to make a fortune and take over like the universe by, yes, trading organs on the black market in space. However, everything is done in text. If you can handle that kind of game, there is an absolutely ton of fun to be had here. I actually tried to stream this game. It's maybe not the best streaming experience because it's all text-based, but I had a ton of fun with it. I played a ton of it offline after. Okay, now we're on to page 3, and we have one of the crazy blowout deals of the sale, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition for $14.29. Look, yes, you have to download most of the games here because they're not directly on the cartridge, but This is even lower than it's ever been on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a Black Friday sale with it dropping lower, but $14.29 for the 3 Grand Theft Auto games. This is the lowest I've ever seen it, either eShop or physically. Once again, no-brainer in my opinion. I haven't tried these little CRKD controllers. They remind me of the 8-bit Do controllers that are extremely tiny. Like these things are like this big. Like they're extremely tiny. They're a fun gimmick, but they don't really functionally. You can't play a whole game with this. Your hands will cramp up like crazy. But just wanted to throw it out there. I saw that they're on sale, a few dollars off though. After this here, don't be caught by the Atari flashback. There's a way better collection now for the Atari games. I wouldn't drop the cash on this one. I would just grab the bigger collection, even if it's more expensive. However, we do have Potion Permit Complete Edition for $17.89, a great little life sim slash exploration action RPG. Honestly, this game, I played a lot of it. I really enjoyed it. You basically play a doctor in a little, alchemist doctor in a little city. You have to heal your patients. You have to go out, find ingredients, and there's a whole storyline tied into it. Super fun time, and for $17.87, definitely worth a pickup for a physical edition. But probably one of the other blowout deals from the sale is Red Dead Redemption for $17.87. Amazing game. The port to the Switch is really good, and on top of it, we're about to get a free upgrade for the Nintendo Switch 2. I think it's hitting on December 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. $17.87, guys. Jump on these deals. You will not be disappointed. It is a great game overall. Next, moving on to our next page, Nuclear Blaze is not on sale, so it's weird that it's here on the page because it's not on sale. That's like its regular price. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, honestly, I would skip it. I've seen it cheaper than this before, so, I will point out sometimes some deals that I might attract you at first, but I've seen it for cheaper than this. I would wait out on it. However, what I would not wait out on is Owlboy. Owlboy is a great Metroidvania, beautiful storyline. I absolutely love this game. And for $21 for a physical edition, even if I would one day, I don't think it'll ever hit a bargain bin price because I don't think there's that many physical copies floating out there where someone will want to liquidate them for $10. So I would really jump on this. I do think eventually copies are going to run out, and more people try this game, more and more people fall in love with it. Minicle's Night Market, I didn't resonate super hard with it, but I can see the argument for picking this one up for $21.44. Once again, a really fun little puzzle platformer game. Beautiful art style. I maybe didn't resonate with the gameplay as hard as I would have liked to, but I still suggest this game when it's at a good price. Great pickup here, Metro Redux for Nintendo Switch, $21.44. It's both of the Metro games, by the way, Last Light and, I always forget the year, 2033. So you have Last Light and 2033, both in a dual pack here for $21.44. For a physical copy of these games, it's a great pickup yet again. Moving on to our next page, because I want to keep the pace going really quick. By the way, I know a lot of these games are like visual novels. I'm not a super big visual novel player, so if I am missing out on some of them, please point them out, like I said, in the comments down below. Nothing's jumping out at me at this page. Moving out, I do think it'll hit bargain bins eventually, so I would maybe wait. I do think you can probably get a copy at like 15 or 10 bucks eventually. What I would jump on, however, is Dredge Deluxe Edition for $21.44. It might get lower one day, but I still would not feel bad getting the Deluxe Edition for $21.44. This game blew me away. It is a really great mix of a fishing sim slash action RPG almost type game. It's almost like a Zelda game where you're a boat and rather than a person. Because you actually never control the captain individually, you control the boat. So it's Zelda if Link was a boat, basically. And New Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. Okay, a lot of people hated this game. It is extremely difficult, maybe so difficult that it actually removed the fun of the gameplay. But I still really liked this game. Uh, I'm one of the weird people that sort of liked it and that tried to push his way through the game. I'm actually not done yet because the last levels are so incredibly hard. Uh, Fair warning, but I can't help but mention it quickly. Okay, over to our next page. Um, Crash Team Racing I have seen for cheaper than this, so I would not go with that. Moonlighter 2144. Chef's Kiss, man, a beautiful, beautiful game. Definitely for 2144, it is worth it. Fair, it can be extremely cheap on the eShop, but this is the kind of game I would not feel bad of having a physical copy to be able to play this years in the future. Great little game. It's once again a roguelike dungeon crawler / life sim where you run a shop by day and explore dungeons by night. Great little game. Next, Persona 5 Royal. I think this game needs no introduction. It is one of the best JRPGs out there. 2144 for a physical version. Once again, I think it's a really, really good pickup. Thunder Ray, the standard edition play exclusive. Now, apparently this has the DLC included. If it did not have the DLC included, I would not be suggesting this game, but with the DLC included, it is a decent pickup. It's basically a Punch-Out reimagined anime style. It didn't quite live up to my expectations, especially because the game is very much on the short side. With the DLC, it's a little better, but for $21, there's some fun to be had here if you are a fan of classic Punch-Out. The Sega Genesis Classics Edition. I can't stop talking about this game enough. Over 50 classic Sega Genesis games for $21.44. Physical copies are going to run out of this game, and I'm pretty sure Sega will never print it again because they are now selling their games in different fashions. I would say that, like, some people will say that the emulator here has some input delay and stuff. I give it to you. Yes, it's true, but nonetheless, I've had a ton of fun with this collection, and for the RPGs alone, which aren't affected by the input delay whatsoever, this collection is like more than worth it. Just Shining Force on its own, I'd pay more than $21 for. So, great little gaming collection. I recommend every retro fan have this in their collection. Beyond the Ice Palace 2. Action platformer, very difficult, but very fun. Very well done, and it's the follow-up to a game that came out like 20-some years ago. I didn't even know the original, but I did play this on stream, had a ton of fun with it. Really good 2D action platformer. Hey, Bear, the Galgun series is on sale. Just a little inside joke here. We have one of our regular viewers here that says he loves the Galgun series. Well, guess what? All three of them are on sale for $21.44. I'm just joking here. These are not necessarily my suggestion, but it's just fun to see the games here. Okay, moving on to what is a real suggestion. Nexamon plus Nexamon Extinction. If you like classic pixel art Pokemon, this is basically reimagined with new models. So basically all the characters are original here. None are copies of existing Pokemon. And basically you get two adventures. They are actually really well done with, I would say, even deeper stories than the traditional Pokemon games. So they're just really fun. It's maybe the designs on the Mons themselves are maybe not up to par with classic Pokemon, but they're still enticing and fun to play with. Oof, there was a lot on this page. Let's move on to the next one. This is probably going to turn out to be a bigger video than I thought. New Super Lucky's Tale. So here is the physical version. Great pickup, $21.44. I have seen this game cheaper, however. So once again, maybe a holdout. Fighting Rage, $21.44. Beat 'em up fans, this is a great one. However, a very challenging one. Great pickup. I really do recommend this game. We're going to, I think, move even quicker now. So, Super Epic, The Entertainment War. Great little Metroidvania. Yes, it goes on the eShop for only $2 from time to time, but I have a real soft spot for this game. I really enjoyed a lot. There's a great mix of action and comedy, and I would gladly pay $21.44 for a physical edition. Atomic Run Gun Jump Gun, $21.44. Maybe a little bit of a harder sell because you can pick it up once again for $2 on the eShop. I would say buy the $2 game. If you really like it, then drop the $21.44 if you want to add it to your permanent collection. What, however, I would definitely pick up is the Capcom Belt Action Collection. Now, this is a collection of arcade beat 'em ups, some of the best Capcom have ever made in the 90s, like from the 90s collection, and it is easily worth the $25. Not only that, this is a Japan import because you can almost not find a physical version in North America anymore, at least not a brand new copy. So easy suggestion here. The one I would maybe wait for is the NES World Championships. This game really didn't live up to expectations, I think. And I do think, oddly enough, for a first-party Nintendo game, this one will eventually hit the budget bins, like the bargain bins. Death Road to Canada. Once again, a soft spot for this game, so I do want to just highlight it for a couple of seconds. It's a survival roguelite where you have to make a break for Canada, my homeland, to escape the zombie apocalypse. Really fun game. I just don't know if everyone's going to want to drop $25 on it, but for me, it's worth it. I want to throw it out there really quick. Stray for $25 can be really good, but I do think maybe you can find better if you wait it out for other retailers. There's millions of copies available, so I don't think, we'll run out, but decent pickup nonetheless at $25. Next, Shin Megami Tensei 5, the Vengeance Edition for $25. Once again, I've seen it at $20, so take it or leave it. It could be a good pickup. Sonic Frontiers, once again, $25. It's just okay. I'm not going to be highlighting these with gameplay. I think everyone knows these games. However, those I do want to highlight are these three here: Gal Guardians Demon Purge, Gal Guardians Servants of the Dark. Both these are from the same series. Gal Guardians Demon Purge is much more of an action platformer, more straightforward, very, very light Metroidvania-ish tendencies, but more of a action platformer. They're based off of Castlevania with two different playable characters, and there's an original mechanic where you don't die unless both of your characters die. So you always have a sort of a chance to come back with the second character. Servants of the Dark becomes a full-out Metroidvania. If I had to... Personally, I actually enjoyed Demon Purge more than Servants of the Dark, but both are really good games. I played them both on stream, actually. Discounty, though, is a little touch of addictive fun. You're running a supermarket in a little town. It is very Stardew Valley-like, where there's a lot of interaction with the different characters and storylines to evolve your things while running this supermarket. Super addictive. Definitely suggest this one for $25. Maybe it'll get cheaper one day, but I would never feel bad for having a physical copy for this price. Going quickly here, Earth Atlantis for $25 can be really good if you're a fan of the game. The only thing is I would once again, pick up the $2 version when it goes on sale on the eShop. And then if I, like it, try to find a physical copy. Not sure it's going to be that hard to find, but it is what it is. Capcom Fighting Collection, pretty good. Once again, $28.59. I do feel, however, it might hit lower at some developers, but this is a great fighting collection with the I always say Darkstalkers series, mostly being, I would say, at the forefront, and a couple of little throw-ins there on the side that people don't really know that much from Capcom. Okay, moving on now. Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition, $28. It is a pretty good pickup, I would say. Shantae series is a great series overall. This is maybe not my favorite one, but at $28 worth a pickup. Return to Monkey Island can be pretty decent. What I would definitely look at picking up, though, is Hollow Knight for $28. A physical copy of Hollow Knight is a great thing to have in your collection, and I do think eventually physical copies of the first game might run out. However, I really do hope they eventually come out with a double pack of this and Silk Song for people that missed out on the first game. Things aside, though, we don't know if that's going to happen. It could happen, whatnot. Unicorn Overlord, though, is a definite easy suggestion at $28.59. Now, this is a tactical RPG, and it is definitely worth the $28. You get a ton of content here. Great game overall. By the way, just a warning here on this page, stay away from Walking Dead Destinies. Don't be attracted by Walking Dead. This is a total disaster of a game. Don't touch it. Okay, if you buy this, you're actually like you're like no longer welcome on the channel. It's like awful game. Don't support them. Don't support them. Okay, getting back to seriousness though, I feel that this I've seen cheaper before, so let's keep going. I do want to, like I said, keep things moving on. Now, Cat Quest, I would be recommending if this was the triple pack, because there is a triple pack available. I have it. I would say I wouldn't buy the double pack simply because I would just wait out till the triple pack is available and on sale. This page. Andro Dunos 2, great little shmup. $28.59 might be a little bit on the expensive side for this one. I don't know how availability is in the US. I know here in Canada, this is like the only place to get it. So if you've been waiting out, this is probably the cheapest it's going to be till next Black Friday sale. So if you really wanted to get a physical copy of Andro Dunos, it's a great retro styled shoot 'em up. Great little game as well. I really love Andro Dunos. Okay, moving on to our next page. I mean, that one went pretty quick. We're starting to get into the deals that are not... Like, at these price points, like, the deals have to be really good. Sifu Redemption Edition, $35. I mean, if you're a huge fan of Sifu, which is a great game, it's a... Once a game, like, a 3D action beat 'em up, let's say, with roguelite mechanics where you basically age as you die, and eventually you might have to start over because simply you just can't, you don't have what it takes to finish the game anymore because you've aged too much. But the Redemption Edition is the big one with the statue. I actually have it in the background somewhere. I haven't opened it. I've kept it sealed because I already had the standard edition of the game. $35 for this with the statue and everything, and there's a huge like art book and everything. This is actually, I would say, this can be a really awesome Christmas gift if you know that someone likes the game and they don't expect it. They might even think you dropped like $100 on this thing, because when it came out, I think it was like close to 100. I think this edition. No More Heroes 3. I've seen it cheaper than this, $35, so I would hold out for the moment. Raidu Remastered, we saw it for the Switch 2. If you have a Switch 2, I would grab the Switch 2 edition. By the way, I skipped the Crisis games because individually, I don't think they're worth $35 a piece, okay? That's why I've been skipping them. I'm not going to re-talk about this game. We looked at it for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I would say this wraps up this page for me. Now, getting to this page, $39.32 for Tunic. It's not cheap enough. I would say wait it out. I do think you can get it for, you'll eventually be able to get it for cheaper than this. Now, these controllers I've really wanted to try. I might pick up one of these for $40. I really like this like little flat format as a portable controller to like slap in a bag or something. I might really try these, as well as the Nitro deck. I wish it was compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2, which it is not. But if you're still rocking your Switch 1, $40 for a Nitro deck can be a really cool pickup as well. We're about to wrap this up. We're getting to the last little ones here. Golden Force, I can't recommend this at this price. Lunar Remastered Collection. I feel I've seen it cheaper than that. Great JRPG, by the way, Lunar, if you haven't played it. It's just, I'm not sure it's worth this price. So great game nonetheless, however. More Nitro decks. The limited edition ones are $57. Like I said, if you're rocking a Switch 1, the Nitro decks seem to be pretty great. And I think that wraps it up for our Switch 1 deals, at least the ones that are in stock. Now we've wrapped up the deals that are in stock. I'm going to be going really quickly through the games that are out of stock that are worth checking to see if they come back in stock. However, if you're really interested in pickups immediately after the video, you can stop watching now. If not, you can stick around with me. I'll do this very quick. Like, I won't be putting gameplay of these games. I'll just be basically telling you which games are worth checking out and what the general gameplay style is. So, Curse of the Sea Rats, Metroidvania, wasn't the best, but for $7, definitely a fun time. The Star Wars Racer combo pack here for $14.29. Now, there is a pack with all of the games in one, so if you can get that one for like around $30, I would rather go with that one because I think you get 6 Star Wars games. But if not, if you're just a fan of Republic Commando and Racer, Great little pickup at $14 if it comes back. Rainbow Billy and the Curse of the Leviathan. This is like a modern reimagining of a Paper Mario style game. It didn't get enough attention on the Switch. I would definitely recommend picking up a copy for $17. Untitled Goose Game, same thing. Darkest Dungeon 2. If this comes back in stock for $17, this is a no-brainer pickup. Neon White, great pickup for $21, crazy pickup, as is Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Now, Neon White, if you didn't know, is a FPS / card-based RPG game, but it is extremely unique and extremely fun. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, it's pretty much all the retro old school Shovel Knight games piled into one, with even the sort of Smash Brothers style fighter in there. Easy pickup for $21. Kingdoms of Amulet Re-Reckoning. It's a 3D action RPG. Definitely a fun time for $21 once again. Cuphead, $21 for a physical edition of this game. Definite pickup here. The Doinksoft collection. The Doinksoft collection for $21 is actually pretty insane. This has Gato Roboto, Gunbrella, and Demon Throttle all in one pack for $21. Like all three of these games, I would love to have a physical copy. I actually have to pick up this collection. So I am going to be watching like a hawk to see if this one comes back in stock. Nothing stands out other than this. Okami, $25. I would definitely, the Ori collection for $25. Insane. Halloween and Ash vs. the Evil Dead for $25. I really like these games. They're retro 2D platformers featuring Halloween and Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Two different games packed into one. After that, Resident Evil Triple Pack. This is a download heavy pack, but it can still be worth it for $28. Harvest Stella for $28. This game didn't get enough love, but it's a 3D life sim farming game. Very good one. It just came out at a time where we were flooded with these kind of games. Metal Slug Tactics could be a really nice pickup at $28. Rising Hell. I have an incredible soft spot for this game. $32 is a lot, especially that its regular eShop price is $10 for this game. But just to know, I have this game 3 times. I have all 3 editions of this game. I am in love with it. I have the regular edition, I have the collector's edition, and I have the a special cardboard cover version. Anyway, it's a 3rd version. It came out only in Europe, and I got it nonetheless because I'm obsessed with this game. After that, nothing else here that I can see on this page. Potionomics for $39. It's a nice box set, but I would wait till it's cheaper. I do think it's going to be... Oh, and look here. The Rising Hell Special Edition, $42. If this comes back in stock, love this game. Love this game. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it for today's video. So let me know what you thought of this format. I know it's really different than usual, but I think this was the only way to tackle 300 plus games and really get a look at everything that is currently on sale. As I said, don't forget to leave a comment down below if I missed out on any games. And if I saved you any money, don't forget to use my affiliate code to help out the channel a little bit. And I think it might have earned me a like and a subscribe if you aren't already. Now, once again, before we go, thank you very much to AliExpress for sponsoring today's video. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.